Uh, I hope everybody's doing fine. And also, I want us to be useful in our country. I know there's a lot of challenges that are happening in our country right now. We have problems to do with insecurity, and a lot of businesses cannot go on well because of insecurity. But we cannot sit down and fold our hands. We have to make sure that at least we do what we can as we continue to pray and work so hard to make sure peace is there, development is there, because businesses can only work well when we have good infrastructure and also when we have good collaboration among ourselves and also with our neighboring countries. So I'll go straight to our presentation, and our presentation is divided in two ways. We have the main topics. We will have again the subtopic. We will have the challenges also that are in the fishing sector, and also the opportunities that are outside there in the world for us. So the title, the presentation today is for survival, fishing for survival and growth, opportunities for South Sudanese and youths. Fishing for survival and growth. In South Sudan, we have the humanitarian sector, we have WFP, we have UNICEF, we have food security and livelihood, which is under the UN FAO, and they're championing that side. And we have a lot of malnourished children and also lactating women. And they usually give the plumpy sap and the plumpy nut to these children, and the women, they give CSB++. I believe a lot of people under the humanitarian sector knows about that. But instead, I am here to call the WFP, I am here to call the UNHCR, and I'm also here to call the UN FAO and UNICEF to at least try to see how can fish replace the plumpy sap and the plumpy nut, because I believe the fish is available and it's more healthier than this plumpy nut and plumpy sap that can be found. And if we can involve or we can go into this sector, I believe it will encourage a lot of youths to be useful in the river, whereby they will be able to go catch fish, and this fish will be used they can buy, the UNHCR can buy it, and also UNICEF, and it can be prepared even through school feeding. It can be given to children. So to me is we have to see other ways. We have to see the things that are existing within the country in South Sudan and make good use of them. When you look at the situation, when it's come to the fish in South Sudan, we cannot manage to finish the fish. And I came up with this statement before, that South Sudanese fish die of old age because nobody's there to eat the fish. The fish are too much, they are plenty, and that is a resource that God gave us, and we have to make good use of that resource, which is the fish that we have in the rivers. We have every part in the country. You will find we have places that are at least youths are trying to make sure that as much as the insecurity, and there's also a lot of challenges because there's too much flood, there's also the weather is not so good, and there's also no more technology that can make the youth to be productive much on the side of producing the fish. But there are more youth that are not giving up. They're trying to do the local preservation of the fish. They do salt to preserve the fish, and the salty fish that is being produced in South Sudan, actually most of it is being sold to Congo. If a lot of you are not aware, and then most of South Sudanese salty fish are being taken to Congo, and the Congolese are buying it, and some of it is being also transported after that to other European countries. So that is the youths that are trying to do. We also have the smoking. Some South Sudanese youths are also preserving fish through smoking. They're smoking the fish, and then also that smoking fish is also being sold in South Sudan in the markets, and also it's being also transported outside. The other way of preserving these fish that the youths are doing is drying the fish. They're drying the fish, and there's also the style. There's this fish that is being styled like it's being put together and dry, and I think it's me and also some of you have been part of beneficiaries of this fish that especially tilapia and night bites. So these are the fish that are being dried and we all eat it. Some of it is being transported to European countries, to Australia, to America, to these South Sudanese that are in those countries. So our fish is very important, and it's also a source of income. It can be a very good source of income when we put our mind on that side. South Sudan, we have a lot of rivers. We also, during my research, I also come out to find out also we have a lake in South Sudan, which I didn't even know before. So we have rivers, abundant rivers. We have also that lake, and also we have the wetlands. We have the Sud, which is something that God have given us, and we should be proud of, and we should also be appreciative, and we should walk barefooted, because that is something that God have given us, and it's actually something very good that we youths, instead of having a lot of issues, we should focus on those sides to make sure that this fish God that gave us, it will not just go in vain, but we make sure that we make good use of it. If you look at every single day or every single year, we have universities in South Sudan that are graduating thousands and thousands of graduates every single year. But to me is how these universities that are producing these children were enough to make sure that at least they don't just make sure that they produce them, but there's also an opportunity for them to be able to practice the knowledge that is given them. So to me, this is a sector that we can always try to see, because in business, there's a business, you don't really have to go to school to study business. There's local businesses that you can be able to start, and later on, if you have big dreams or also want to pursue more in that, if you get that can be sector of your interest, you can go and check on that side. But fish, water, this is something that we have, and you don't need a lot of requirements for you to be able to be a fisherman. You need a local canoe, which is a local boat. You need a local canoe, and you need a tent. You need salt, and you need a light up, and you will go. Maybe you need some small medicine for your well-being in the river, and you can go. Within 2 months, you come back. You're going to be a businessman, because you will have fish that you'll be able to sell, and you'll have small food for your family, a small amount of money that you can be able to start like a small life savings for yourself. So to me, this is a very good angle that we cannot just sleep on. We have the water, we have the fish, and we have to make sure that we make good use of this. We have South Sudan actually have we have the fresh water wetlands in the world. Is one of the largest, right? Is one of the largest fresh water in the world, and it's something we should be proud of. There's a lot of things that I always say South Sudan is the Garden of Eden. This is what I always tell people, that South Sudan is the Garden of Eden, because when you look at the things that are that God gave us, the abundance, we cannot complain much about what is happening, because we already given what other people, other countries don't have. So we need to also look on those sides. What are opportunities that we have in the country, and how do we make good use of them? Because when we don't make good use of them, they become a curse to us. we have different type of fish in South Sudan. I know some other people, they only know the normal tilapia, right? We have a lot of different type of fish that we have in the country, and these are fish that are really demanded in the world market today. But because we are not taking fishing seriously in South Sudan, we don't even have commercial fishing. There's nobody that is doing commercial fishing in the country. And one time when I attended the Intra-African Trade Fair 2023 in Egypt, there was a company that was demanding 200,000 tons every single day. And if we can get a commercial fisherman in South Sudan or company, I believe we have that enough fish in South Sudan that we can be able to sell outside. So this is a side that not only the youth, also the government and the private sector really need to open their eyes on this, that a lot of money also is being wasted by fish dying in the river, because just like I said earlier, our fish dying of old age in South Sudan. So we go to the type of fish that we have in South Sudan. We have the Nile perch. We have the Nile perch. We have the tilapia or Acromix nilocticus. We have the catfish that is a lot, especially during the flood. The catfish is all over, and this is the main famous fish that usually goes with the flood. We also have carp species. This is also a fish that we have in South Sudan, is babas. We have the tiger fish. This is also a type of fish that we have in South Sudan. We have small endemic species, support local consumption, and also photos. So we have a lot of fish that we have in the river in South Sudan, and this is money that is sleeping in the river. So fishing for food security, right? Fishing for food security. And I'm urging especially UNFAO, because UNFAO deal with food security, UNFAO deal with also fisheries and all this. So I am here also to call the UNFAO to also see on the sector of how they can be able to found to get some resources to be given to the youth, especially the youths who are located in these places where the rivers are. So you can be able to provide capitals for the youths to be able to go and do fishing, so that this can be something that will be able to help them and also help the economy of the country. And this will also reduce a lot of youths not having jobs, because there's a lot of issues now. A lot of youths there's a lot of graduates, there's a lot of enough knowledge that is sitting down in Juba at the moment, and there's not jobs. And one way is to encourage these youths to be able to be job creators. How do we do that? By making sure there's availability of capitals and funds for them to be able to be useful in those business ideas that they have, or to be able to find a way and contribute in the economy of the country. So on this fish side, I am really urging the UNFAO, because they are the one, or you are the one that actually deal with the food security in the country. And also you can also provide a lot of, we have the hooks that usually provide under the food security. So you need to at least don't go direct now through NGOs, but you really have to go to the youths themselves, because get some ideas, do some research about what can really be done and what is needed. Because if the youth of South Sudan are not being useful, then it's not going to help us in the long run. And that's why you see there's a lot of randomness. There's a lot of problems on social media. People are creating a lot of issues. You find they're having nothing to do, and then they're making social media as a way of communicating out challenges and all this, but the way it's being brought out is not the right way. So we really need to make sure that this side is provided. And also to the Minister of Youth, it's high time that you have to be very useful in the youth sector, because these are the things you should be finding out opportunities for youth to be able to be useful in the country, because we have enough human resource in the country. The youths are there, very healthy, ready, energetic. They want to do something, but we really don't know what is the work that the Ministry of Youth is also doing, because you should be working so hard to make sure that we have enough funds, we have enough capitals in South Sudan for the youths to be able to create jobs, because I don't support too much of job seekers, because if you go to school, you have the knowledge, then come and practice it. So I am daring the youths to come out, and I cannot only dare the youth, because the youth need funds, just like I used to do before, that we need funds, we need a lot of resources. If you do the budget every year, we need enough, at least budget to go to the youth sector, so that we have enough resources for youth to be able to get jobs. And also to the African Development Bank, it's also high time that you also provide not only resources that go through NGOs, but it's high time, because this money don't reach, the money you give to the government, the money that goes to this other side don't reach the youths the way it's needed. So it's high time we also need to find a way to be able to reach directly to the youth of South Sudan, so that these youths can be able to get these resources, these capitals, and then they'll be able to be useful for themselves and also their families, and to the economy of the country, South Sudan. To start a salty business doesn't need a lot of resources. Just I said earlier that you need a canoe, you need salt, you need maybe firewood, or maybe you need charcoal. But I'm not telling you to go and cut down trees. No, but these are ways of preserving fish. And it's very important. I'm really urging a lot of South Sudanese youths to check this side. A lot of countries actually in the world, fishing is a big part of that is bringing incomes to their country. So don't take it for granted. Please make sure that this side is really taken care of in a very serious way, especially to the UN FAO. Make sure funds are really prepared direct to the youth, and also to the Minister of Youth. Make sure that youths get enough resources for them to be able to start their businesses, not be able to sit down and do nothing, because they have families they need to feed. There are those who want to get married, because in South Sudan, if you don't have money, if you don't have resources in South Sudan, you cannot be able to get married, because in the marriage nowadays it's become like it's so expensive. There are a lot of things to be done, and we need resources. We need you to be productive and that side. So if there's any question, please, before I continue, if there's any question, please post your question in the comment section. I'll be able to see it. If there's any comment that you want me to share with our viewers, you also let me know. And in that, we continue with our discussion. And also to those, it's not a must also for you to be doing the selling or the fish business alone. We also have, you can also decide to be the person who is providing the salt. You can also be the person who is teaching people on how to preserve this fish. You can also be the one to sell nets. You can also be the one decide, okay, you'll be the one to be selling the local canoes for that youth will be hiring from all this. So we need to come out, we need to be creative enough to be able to at least something is really happening within the country. And also to make sure that it's hard for you to be able to have the mind, we have the energy, and then we cannot be able to do anything. So that's why we use our energy on other things that are not helping us. And that's why we become so much idols. We only follow generals that are not helping us. And also generals that are really helping destroying the youths a lot. Because I always say, if you keep a youth in your house as a general and they are not working and they are not going to school and you are not creating jobs for them, then that means you are not helping these youth. Because giving a youth a place to sleep and a food to eat without them being productive, then you are not helping them. You are destroying them. That is something that I said before. And early last year, I also said, chase the youths out of general houses. Because I know a lot of people stays in camps. They stay in these blue tents that are being provided. And you stay there in the morning, they wake up, put in suits, go, follow people that are not be able to help them. I want you to see the future of tomorrow. You will get a wife. If you are not yet married, then you will get married. And then you will need to provide for this wife. And you will not provide to this wife and this child when you are only following a general. You need to think, you need to open your mind so that you will be able to provide for your family. Because a joy of a father is being providing for their children. And that is what every father should do, or every husband should do to the wife. As much as the women also, we are trying our level best to make sure that at least we also help on the side that we can. But before that happens, you have to make sure that at least every single day you are doing something. Even if you're not producing something, at least write something down, how you can be able to be successful or to be useful. Check all the natural resources that are being given to us in the country, and what can you really do? Is it that you can go to Terekeka, buy fresh milk, go sell it in Juba, or go get fresh fish in Terekeka, go sell it in Juba, or also talk to other people. What is really, how are they doing it? At least make some discussion. And we also need youth centers. Actually, we need a youth center in Juba that will be able to protect the youth, will be able to give youths a platform whereby youth will go sit down and discuss how can they be useful, and also to brainstorm and share the youth that are already doing something. How did they start? How are they doing? And how can we other youths enter into that sector? There's also challenges when it's come to fishing, and I will mention some few things, but I will jump some others because it's a broader topic. I prepare a lot, but I have to just pick the most important thing that will help us faster, and then the rest we can continue later on. So I'll go to sustainable practices. Respect breeding seasons and avoid overfishing. There are things that need to be watched. When we are doing the fishing, we don't just fish for the sake of fishing. There are those you will find go fishing and pick even the small fish. If we continue picking all the fish, then we'll end up even not having fish in future. And we also have to be very careful on what kind of materials or chemicals or the things that we use and put in the water, because we can kill our fish, and in future we are going to have fish who are poisoned, and fish are not going to help us. They are going to be harmful to our health, and they are not going to make money for us, because the world will refuse the fish that come from our country. Make sure you use appropriate nets that will be able to identify, pick only the kind of fish that you need, right? Only pick what you need. Whatever you don't need, leave it back to the river, because that's how we're supposed to protect also our environment, our fish and everything. You don't need just to kill something. If you don't eat something, don't kill it. You cannot kill something you don't eat. Only pick the kind of fish you need, and whatever you don't need, you return back to the river. We have to make sure that we keep our rivers clean and safe for future fishing and future use, and also for our health, because this is the same water that we drink. This is the same water that we drink. And then global success stories. We have a lot of countries. We have Norway. Norway export fish globally. Aquatical drives economy. We have Norway is a country. If you really progress as South Sudanese and you have enough fish, then you can partner with Norway and you can sell your fish. You can do business with them and sell your fish, because they do export and import fish. So you can do something with them. We also have Bangladesh. Community fish farming leaves the rural family out of poverty. A lot of a country like Bangladesh have really survived on fishing. This is something that we have to check also. If we don't just go to fishing, but other countries, how have they made it? How is the fish business helping them, and how can it help us? We have Ghana, which is in Africa. Local processing empower youth and women, and lesson organization training and market accessories. So we have a lot of countries in the world that fish is not just food for them, but it's a commercial, it's a business, it's an entrepreneurship that is bringing a lot of resources to these people. So we have something that is valuable. We have gold, which is the fish and the river. We have water, and we must make good use of that. A lot of people are now dying, and we have fish. So this fish, it can be used in several ways. It can be used, you can have it a tuna, then you sell it. You can have it like, we have also a lot of, trust me, there's a lot of hotels in South Sudan, in Juba, that import their fish from other countries. Like we have hotels in Juba that bring their fish from Uganda, that bring fish from Kenya, from China even. And we have enough fish in South Sudan. So that means that we as South Sudanese have failed on that side, and we must make sure that we make good use of our fish in the river. What opportunities do we have beyond South Sudan? Because we have big hotels. Let's say, for example, if you have one contract with one of a hotel in South Sudan, you can be able to start supplying to that one hotel. Or maybe you can start a place for selling your fish, and then slowly by slowly you can increase and make sure that you understand what is needed by your consumers. That is very, very, very important. So opportunities that we have without outside South Sudan or beyond South Sudan, we have the regional markets. We have the regional market that sells smoked fish, fresh fish in East Africa. We have, and our fish actually is the best. Our fish is the best. It's so sweet. So, and this is something that we should also make good use of. That we have one of the best fish. Our tilapia are big, healthy. We don't need to like put fertilizers for our fish to be able to be big. Our fish are naturally big. They're healthy and sweet. We can export tilapia, catfish, Nile perch have demands in Europe and Asia. So there's need of tilapia, catfish, and Nile perch in Europe and Asia. So that is also a side of, we can see how we can make sure that these also fish have go to beyond South Sudan. Because I've seen there's a lot of other people, they go purchase the fish from South Sudan through Congo, and then they take that fish and then they bring it to this other side. So we can do that direct and partner with Asia and Europe directly from South Sudanese business people to this other side. So these are opportunities that are also there. And then we have also Dutch companies. We have Dutch companies, the Netherlands companies that export and re-export. So have and buy African seafood. They buy African seafood, and they also buy fish. So we must make sure that all the opportunities are there. We don't sleep. We don't use social media for the sake of using it, but we make sure that we check how can social media, how can we benefit from all the information that are in the social media, because these are details that you can go and get them, and you will be able to just have direction. You can just get a company email, you write to them, tell them your opportunity, and you will be able to be progressive on that side. And something very important, the hygiene, how you handle this fish, the packaging and regulatory standards. There's a standard that is needed. So we have to also be very careful before we start thinking on how we can export. Then we check all the standards that are needed, especially if you want to shift to Europe, to European countries. There's a lot of verification, there's regulation, and there's a standard that is needed. So you need to check that standard that is needed. Are you ready for it? So skills and community support. There's a lot of skill on social media, on YouTube, on TikTok, on other platforms. There's also some organizations or companies that are coming out and teaching people on how we can do modern fishing techniques, right? There's a lot of techniques on how there's a lot of also the technology that have come out, especially China have a lot of materials or a lot of machines that can be used for commercial farming and also for commercial food, fish preservation. So those are things that are already there. If you go just and check, you will be surprised of what is the world have that we are sleeping on. We also need to check which organizations in the world that are giving loans, because there are organizations that are giving loans for you to be able to start your fishing business, and they can also give you technical support. They can train you, prepare you, equip you well enough for you to be able to succeed in your fish business. What are the challenges? After we already have the water, we have the fish, we have the market that is available, but what are the challenges that are making us not to, or maybe that will hinder our progress in that side? One of them will be the poor infrastructure and transport. That is something is explanatory. There's no well place that we can say that we have good roads in the country, that we will be able to get fish in the next, we can get it from board in the next 10 minutes, maybe it have arrived in Juba cities. Also, that is one of the biggest challenges that we're having in the country, that we need. There's a poor infrastructure and transportation. So that's a side that we really have to be serious on and check. All the people that are being given resources to construct roads and to be serious on transportation, we really have to make sure that these people, we follow them to make sure that whatever they do, infrastructure must be in place, and that is something that we need. And also security within the road, those are something that we need for us to be able to be present in those others. High post-harvest losses. So sometimes we can get enough fish, and if it's not preserved well, then that fish can get spoiled, and there's a lot of serious losses on that side. We also have limited access to finance, export markets. This is one of the biggest problems that we're having in the country. We don't have banks that have loans, capitals that are addressed to the youth. So this is one of the biggest challenges, because without the resources, without the money, capital for youth to be able to start these businesses, then that means there's nothing that can ever happen. So we really urge that there should be a lot of availability of funds, and also enough when budget is being passed, they should make sure that a lot of resources are allocated to the youths, so that the youth will be able to be useful in the things they do. And I can now said, yes, the government is doing this intentionally so that the youth will not be able to be useful in themselves and busy in making money, but they will be busy being used on the other side that is not needed. And this is something that the youth have to come out and really see, that we have to be very, very, very serious. We have to open our eyes. We don't have to be used anymore by anybody, because at the end of the day, you have your life and these other people, they have their life. So we have to make sure the youth of the South Sudanese, we have to focus, build our country, because at the end of the day, whoever is in leadership will leave, but me and you will continue to suffer, because we are the people that need help. So only this help can come from me and you. So we need to unite our hands. We need to see the resources, opportunities that are in front of us and make good use of them. And fishing is one of them, because nobody can hold your hand and say you cannot go to this river and fish. It's only insecurity that can do that. But we cannot sit down until insecurity is finished. We don't know when we are going to have an environment whereby we will not be worried about insecurity anymore. Years are going, years are not waiting for us. Development is not waiting for us. So the modern world is watching. We are competing with other countries, so we really have to open our eyes. So calls to action for the youths: start learning fishing and aquatic culture, join local cooperatives, and explore regional markets for fresh or processed food. Even when the fish is dry, you can also make fish powder. You can also produce the fish oil. And we also need to advocate much to the UN, and especially to the nutrition, the organization that is dealing with nutrition, the health, to make sure that at least we need to also check on this side of the fish. The fish need to be used, because this is what will make the youths to be very serious on going to the river and take fishing seriously, because there will be already an opportunity. There will already be market ready to buy it. So that is something that I'm really urging the UN, especially the UN FAO and the UNICEF, and also the Ministry of Health, together with the organizations that are in health, to make sure, yes, we make this fish to replace the plumpy sap and the plumpy nut, and also the CSB++, because fish is more healthier than, you can eat the meat, you can eat the soup. So that is something that is very, very, very important, and we need to get on that side, because if the UNHCR, if the UNICEF, if the UN FAO start buying fish and give it back to the community, then it will encourage a lot of youths to be fishermen. They will go to the river, fish, and come sell it, and this will be an awakening call for a lot, and we will make good use of our fish instead of our fish to die of old age, but we'll make sure our fish are being useful on our beneficial side. And conclusion: fishing is not just survival, right? Fishing is not just survival, it's a path to stability, skills, and entrepreneurship. Youth in South Sudan can emulate globally example. Sustainably fishing ensure prosperous future for the community. So I believe for the community of South Sudan, if we have if we take a serious questions on the side of fishing, I believe a lot of us will be able to be useful on that side. And now we have come to the end of our today program, and it is under the Voices of Value, whereby it's important for your voice to be heard. We are working on a lot of programs, and soon we'll be able to have our own Facebook page, YouTube page, and Instagram page, and also TikTok page. And before that's happened, I'll always be coming live here and share with you programs as we wait for opening of our official Voices of Value page. it's kind of a social enterprise, and also like mostly it's a way to be able to just to make sure we listen to other people voices, and we also air out our voices. And a time will come whereby we will be having short film production, and also there's a lot that will be shared once it's launched. And all in all, we wish all of you a very beautiful day, beautiful night, and all the best. Until we meet next time, your host is Ruth Nyalem Sky, and have a great Friday. Happy Friday in advance. Have a great weekend and take good care of yourself. And let peace reign in South Sudan. I know there's a lot of things that have happened with you now that they are still happening, but let's continue to choose peace, because only the peace will make us to build our country and will make us to live in peace. Because wherever we are, whether you are in the country, we are outside, our eyes are back at home. If something happened, we are all not sleeping, and that is because no matter what, east, west, home is the best. Thank you so much. See you next time. Bye-bye.